Those of us who say that Republicans are against reproductive rights have been accused of fear-mongering. If that's so, why did Senate Republicans just block a bill that would guarantee access to contraception? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Dr. David. Hope you're having a great day. I'm a board-certified pediatrician in Tampa, and as many of you know, I support the rights of people to make decisions for their own bodies and for their families, and believe that the government should not have much of a say in any of that. It should be between a person, their family, and their doctor. Now, I strongly do support all forms of reproductive health. That includes the proper teaching in schools at an age-appropriate level, with supported by facts, to make sure that that it is safe and effective, and accessible, and that's true whether it comes to abortion care, contraception, IVF, as we saw with the problems in Alabama recently, and so this is really what the focus of this video is going to be about. For those, if you like what you hear, please subscribe, please share this information with other people, please like that too. And if you would like to support us, please do sign up to be a Patreon member, where you get access to our videos early, as well as access to our education station and other things that are only available typically to my patients. Okay, so this assault on women's bodies. Okay, so of course, much of this stems to the 2022 rescinding of Roe v. Wade, and that the laws that were banning abortion, they greatly restricted abortion, often with no state laws, that some of them don't have any accounting for rape, for the health of the mother's life, incest, etc. And that has all been a repercussion of the withdrawing of Roe v. Wade. Now, even to drive this point home even more, Texas far-right conservatives are trying to put into the GOP platform for their state the death penalty for women who get an abortion. So we'll see if that happens. I know that conversation is happening this week. I'm not saying that it is, but they're trying to push that forward. The death penalty for for receiving an abortion. Okay, the women themselves, not even the doctors, which I've beef with that, but they're saying that the women should be treated as a murderer. Okay, get the death penalty. Now, as far as what just happened, so this bill in the U.S. Senate called the Right to Contraception Act. Okay, it defines contraceptive as any device, drug, or biological product intended for use in prevention of pregnancy. Okay, not for abortion, preventing of pregnancy. And it basically established several rights nationwide for all individuals: the right to get contraceptives, the right to use contraceptives, because sometimes people could read, it says you can get it, but it doesn't say you can use it, and then people can fight on that. So to clarify that they can use it as well, and also to protect the healthcare providers who prescribe it, who recommend it. Obviously, some forms you don't have to go get a prescription for, but birth control pill, or IUDs, those are things, and they wanted to make sure that any physician who was responsible for a patient being able to receive that type of treatment would be protected as well. Okay. Now, it also prohibits the federal government or states from enforcing any laws or standards that impedes those rights. And in addition, empowered the Justice Department and affected private entities to sue to enforce those new protections. Okay. Now, in terms of this, the Republican blocking the legislation itself. So the vote did take place in the early part of June. 60 votes, as happens with most things in the Senate, because of the filibuster. 60 votes needed to be passed, and it did get a majority, 51 votes, 39 against. There were only 2 Republicans in the Senate who voted who voted for the bill, to protect the access. They were both women. Surprise. One was Susan Murkowski from Alaska. One was Susan Collins from Maine. Now, the Republicans who voted against this, they argued that this was unnecessary. They said that the use of birth control is already protected under the Supreme Court precedent. And you know what? So was the right to abortion. Supreme Court protected for 50 years until it didn't. So anybody who says that this is unnecessary because, there's precedent set, Supreme Court justices, when they were being interviewed before they were nominated and voted on, they all the ones who voted against said, oh, no, precedence has been set with Roe v. Wade. We're not going to try and reverse it. And they did. So anybody who believes that they wouldn't give a try if they could, you never know. You never know. Okay. Now, so as you probably, again, the 2022 Dobbs versus the Jackson Women's Health Organization. That's what the new law is that says that it goes to the states, and where we've gone now. Now, some Republicans have also called it a messaging bill. That it's just something that people are trying to do for politics. Now, Susan Murkowski from Alaska, when asked about this, this is what she said. Let me sure I get this right. She said, "If it's a messaging bill, my message is I support a women's access to contraception. Pretty simple. So if we're going to play messaging, that's my message." Touche. Thank you for that. Now, it just so happened that in a procedural move, when it looked like it wasn't going to get the 60 votes, Senator leader, the majority leader, Chuck Schumer, he actually voted against it, and that allows him the ability to bring it up in the future. So he didn't really vote against it, if you heard that. It was just that's a common procedural move in order to bring a bill up again in the future. So, of course, is this needed, right? Well, I think a fair question is, can the Supreme Court be trusted? Right? And again, with Roe v. Wade, I think many of us never in a million years would have thought that a woman's right to have an abortion would ever have been taken away from them. It was there for 50 years. Okay. Now, interestingly, there was a 1965 law called Griswold versus Connecticut that granted the right for access to contraceptives. Okay, so that's currently looked, and it was based upon the right to privacy. But here's the thing: in his to Justice Clarence Thomas, in his Dobbs consenting and concurring opinion, he wrote that the court should reconsider other precedents like Griswold. So he's saying that should be on the table. Okay, that's the reason why this is needed. Okay, now, not just that, 1 in 5 Americans in a recent poll had said that they believe that the right to contraception is under threat. So yeah, this is needed. This is not a show vote. This is needed. We need to protect people's rights to all reproductive rights, but certainly contraception. So what are my thoughts on all of this? Okay, so first of all, this is the furthest thing from what's considered conservative philosophy. Republicans are considered conservatives, but this is not that. What about, conservative philosophy is individual autonomy. It's based upon a consumer-driven free economy. People should be allowed to buy and purchase and get goods and services based upon what they think is right for themselves, and the economy gets driven based upon that. What about the liberty for people to do whatever they want to do? That's a strong component of supposedly or of traditional conservative principles, and this is not that either. Okay, now, of course, what can you do? The most important thing you can do is vote. If there are people who support your position on this, people who will push forward to advocate for what you believe in, vote for those people, whether it's on a state level, federal level, etc. They are the ones who represent you. Let them represent you. Vote for them. Okay. In addition, in states such as here in Florida, where there is abortion on the ballot or other reproductive rights, of course, you vote for what you believe there. Okay. And of course, get other people to support your belief as well. So anyways, again, more frustration what's going on here. Americans' rights are not being confirmed. And that's a sad thing. And you'd hope nothing would come for that, but I have no faith in the system whatsoever that somebody won't try to pull this. Have a nice day.